You could say that my life began with my mother's death. For up until that time, I was slated to become one kind of woman, and after that, everything changed. Everything changed, and I became another. She passed in the first few days of February 1929, which was harsh and cold in the Big Pine Valley. Not an especially bitter winter as mountain winters go, but even so, it was long and dark, as mean a season as you can imagine. The rhododendron leaves curled tight for days, and lambs born overnight froze to death in the pasture grass before dawn. My mother's name was Mary Freeman Salter. She was 58 when she died of measles. Of all the things in this solid world to die of, measles. The doctor, when we were finally able to get him up the icy dirt roads to home, said the measles caused her brain to swell and led into pneumonia. In the end, she couldn't breathe, the doctor said, and so she suffocated. But you should know this here at the beginning. None of those things killed my mother. Exhaustion is what killed her. 58 years of farm work, from before first light to after dark. Oh, my father worked, make no mistake, but she was up an hour before him to stoke the cook stove and boil the coffee. And she was darning and knitting for an hour after he was snoring by the fireplace. 58 years of that, plus 7 children born at home, my brothers and me. In the last few days of January, when her head had begun to hurt her terribly but she still had breath, she called me in from the kitchen to sit with her. It was a bleak afternoon, and the whole house stank of wood smoke and grease from having been shut up since Thanksgiving. We were the only ones there, as Papa had the boys in the woods felling trees to cut into railroad ties. She stroked my hand and told me 2 large things. "Don't feel sorry for me," was the first. "Don't you ever feel sorry for me. I chose this life, and I loved this place. Loved your father often as not. Bottom line, I chose this right here. And I was up to the task, both the daytime of it and the night." She paused and coughed. Not an outright coughing fit, that came later, but a hoarse rattle in her lungs that she couldn't clear. "I chose it, and it's my life, but it is not your life." This was the second thing.